Hey guys, it's Leoni Joyce and I'm here with Prime Video to talk all things Married to the Game. Let's get into it. So in this video, we're going to be discussing the first 3 episodes of Married to the Game. But first, I want to give you a little brief overview of the series. What I want to say off the bat, love this show. Oh my god, it's everything I want. If you like reality TV that shows you lavish lifestyles, you want to see how the other side live, this is the show for you. It had everything I could ask for. It's also really interesting just to see how these people navigate relationships. There's so many great talking points from this. What are the sacrifices you make in relationships? Having children, making sure you don't lose yourself in all of that. Self-confidence. There's so much discussed in this show, and we are about to get into it now. So in episode 1, we meet Taylor Ward at the time.
Taylor what?
Taylor Mahrez. I'm actually Taylor Ward still. I'm Taylor Ward.
And Riyad Mahrez. And this is what, not even 3 minutes in. I told you, this show has luxury, it has money. We're seeing her daughter, who is, by the way, the cutest little girl on earth. We see her playing with an LV bag and I'm like, yes, let's go. Show me the money, show me the wealth. This is the show for me. And I think what's interesting about this reality show, docuseries Married to the Game, and different from other reality shows, is you don't see much of all the individual characters intertwining like you have on other reality shows where they're all together, which I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it, but I actually really love it, and it gives you a chance to truly get to know each person more in-depthly. But I say all that to say at the very beginning, so we've met Taylor, Riyad. We also meet Sarah and İlkay Gündoğan, who at the time is a midfielder for Man City. He then goes on to become a midfielder for Barcelona and obviously the German national team. Shout out me knowing sports. But yeah, so we meet the two of them and we see how Sarah intertwines with Taylor because they are friends, because at the time, as I was saying, both of their partners play for Man City. But I just want to say this, guys. Sarah has to be one of the most beautiful women I've ever laid my eyes on. My gosh, and in person, even more stunning, like gorgeous. She's a model, makes sense. So yeah, in this moment, they're sat at Taylor's house and they're speaking about their fears and worries of, you know, being with a footballer and them having to change teams and having to uproot your life and move to a whole new place. Foreshadowing, because it actually happens for the both of them.
Like, luckily, Riyad plays in Manchester, so I've never had to move away, but my biggest fear is having to move to a different country.
Watching that conversation between them and just watching this show in general really made me stop and think, okay, what are the lengths I would go to and what sacrifices am I willing to make for my partner? Am I willing to move after just knowing him for a year and a bit to a whole new place, pregnant with his baby? We're going to get into that. Like, what these women are sacrificing for these men is like amazing to see, actually, and very like heartwarming, and you see the strong bonds that they have with their partners and how it brings them closer. Okay, yeah, so then we meet Kat Harding, who's with Jorginho, who's a midfielder for Arsenal and the Italy national team. Again, sports, look at me go. I'm gonna say this about Kat. I love her personality. She's the kind of girl you want to go for drinks with. And she was really showing us their life on this show. Like, she's made for reality TV, I have to say. But yeah, so we meet them. What I found really interesting and what I found myself thinking about, so Jorginho, he's Brazilian and Italian. And I remember once I was on a date, and this guy, I remember him telling me that footballers, when they're picking a national team, you can only make 5 to 10 senior appearances and then you've got to stick with that team. So I don't know, random thought, like, how did he make the decision to play for Italy over Brazil? Like, I don't know, maybe it was a hard decision for him. But yeah, just a random thought, guys. Sports, the more you know. So guys, Kat and Jorginho met on a dating app. Ladies, there's hope. There's hope for us all. She found a footballer on a dating app. Another thing that got me thinking, we see that it's Kat's birthday. It's her 33rd birthday. So Jay, that's what she calls him. Can I say Jay? Okay, Jorginho is away in LA for work, for football. So she's spending the actual day of her birthday without him there. And she's like, this is something we're used to, like missing birthdays, Christmases, and like football does come first. But yeah, so we cut to Sarah and she's in Lisbon celebrating Vogue's 20th anniversary. And there was a moment where she's just having this realization of, wow, look how far I've come. And guys, comment below. Tell me you agree. There is no better feeling than being like, wow, I'm really living out my dreams or doing what it is that I wanted to do. I used to look back at this when I was younger and think, oh, if only. No matter what the achievement is, there's no better feeling than feeling like when you first move out or making it to university and remembering I remember when I got to university and remembering when I was like maybe 8 years old, I went with my older cousins to their university. I was like, wow, what is this place? I want to go one day. And then I was there and someone was looking at me like that. So it was a very beautiful moment to see her there and just taking it all in. There's so many moments you can pause and just reflect for yourself, or like I said, have great conversations with other people about it. Also, while she's there, this is one of her first big trips since becoming a mother. And she's talking about that balance of being a mom and balancing working life, especially being a new mom. And I was having this conversation the other day and I was talking about the fact of you're raising a whole human. It's so easy to lose yourself. And I feel like every day, shout out to every mother out there, every mother watching this, shout out to you, virtual flowers, because that must be such a tough thing to deal with and balance. And it's really cool to see her on this platform and just showing how it's done in real time. Like I said, she is a brand new mom. Yeah, speaking of like, you know, the struggles with family and football, Jorginho is also speaking about the struggles of being away from his family because of football.
We sacrifice a lot. The biggest one is being away all the time.
And you see it on this show, how much he loves his family. And it's so great to see that, because I guess you don't get to see that side to footballers normally. It's just they're on the pitch, post-game interviews. I don't watch football, but that's what I heard goes on. So it's nice to see this different side to them. And I'll be so honest, I loved seeing every footballer doing the confessionals because it's like another side we get to see to them. I really enjoyed it. So they're talking about this sacrifice they have to make, going to work, like playing football and missing out on major milestones and times with their kids. And it does make me think about the sacrifices my parents made, like working multiple jobs, coming home late, not getting to spend as much time with us to make enough money to like put us through private school and things like that. And I genuinely appreciate it. And watching this just put everything more so into perspective and just for, I don't know, just so much gratitude towards parents. I think that's a big thing that you see on this show. Like the footballers having to emotionally just compartmentalize and be like, yes, I'm missing out on this, but it's for the greater good. I'm able to provide an amazing life for my family. And the women as well, like we'll get on to Ash Turner in a second, but she's pregnant due in like a few weeks when this show is being filmed. And her husband is having to go away, Matt Turner, he's having to go away to the States. He's away at training. Like, she's not getting to see him much. And this is during a crucial period where she's pregnant, but she has to put the kids first, her emotions second, and be like, you know what? This is for the greater good. And if anything, if you take anything away from this show, shout out to parents, okay? They are the most selfless beings on this planet. I don't know if I could do it. Not joking. And of course, like I was saying in the beginning, with Taylor and Sarah talking about their biggest fears of their men being transferred elsewhere and they have to uproot their life, foreshadowing, boom.
Al Ahly of Saudi Arabia agreeing a deal worth £30 million for Riyad Mahrez.
Ended his 5-year stay at City to join Al Ahly out in Saudi Arabia.
Just like that, Riyad is transferring from Man City, not to another team in the UK, guys. Saudi Arabia, a whole new country, a completely different lifestyle. She's lived in Manchester her whole life. Her family's there. Her business is there. This is another thing. Like, she's built a whole business and they have to uproot their life and go to Saudi Arabia now. And then obviously we see her speaking with her sister and they're getting emotional because, you know, they're so close. I think there's 2 years apart between them with Taylor and Darby, her sister. And they're now gonna be like, I don't know how they're doing it. And when they were getting emotional, I did get a bit emotional myself. I have a sister, we are very, very close. Like, first best friend you're ever gonna have. I struggle with her moving from London to Kent. Lella, I don't know what I would do if she moved out. Like, she's talking about moving further out in the UK, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? But Saudi Arabia, it's very interesting getting an insight. Like I was saying, okay, I don't like to say nosy, I'm curious. Getting an insight into what goes on in their lives and these, you know, like I said, sacrifice is the word of the show. Sacrifices they have to make. But yeah, and on to another sacrifice. İlkay is being transferred from Man City to Barcelona. I don't know if I'd call that sacrifice. Barcelona is one of my favorite cities in the world, by the way. But no, regardless, having to uproot their life. And in the first episode, we see Kat, like I said, it was her birthday. Jorginho does come back a few days after. They have a big party to celebrate. Another reason to watch this show. Give me all the lavish parties, all these extravagant events. I want the champagne flowing. I want it all, and they gave it to us. They brought out Brazilian carnival dances. Yes! It was really cool. And then she sang a song for him in Portuguese. Her pronunciation, by the way, was really, really good. Beautiful song. Great way to end the episode. So we see in episode 2, Taylor is planning their wedding. They're also planning their move to another country and a leaving party, all in a short window of each other. I struggled last year just planning my birthday and a party holiday. So watching it, I'm stressed, but shout out to you, Taylor. But like I said, I'm here for it. I want to see the extravagant events. So plan away, Taylor, plan away. But yeah, we see Sarah on her way to the party. She flies in from Barcelona and she's saying it's going to be hard. Taylor was the first friend she made. And again, it got me thinking, like, when these wives, their partners, wives, girlfriends, when their partners move on to another team, like, you've built friendships there. You're having to up and move to another city and make a friend again. I've had 2 friends leave this country. One moved to Japan, one went back to Lisbon. And I cried my eyes out. That was hard enough. I could not do that continuously. I know I couldn't. But major respect for them for being able. That is resilience right there. And I guess it definitely builds your people skills. But can we just talk about when Taylor was getting ready for the party and everything, can we just talk about the shoes in her closet? Can we just have a moment for that? I was in shoe heaven, my God. And the fashion on this show, the outfits that people love, here for it, I stand. So in episode 2, they're starting to introduce more characters. So we meet Samantha and James Tarkowski, who are newlyweds. James is a defender for Everton. Again, sports, I know my stuff. Shout out to this show for that. I love them as a couple. But yeah, you can tell even just from their confessionals and how they're sat, and just James loves him some Samantha. Like, they adore each other. You can see it. Like, they're so attracted to each other physically, which is important, but even at their core, like, they love each other. The way they look at each other and talk about each other, they're so sweet to see. I love them as a couple. But yeah, we see Samantha, she's looking to open her own gym, teach fitness classes. Like, I love that these women have their own things going on. You've got Taylor with her jewelry line. You've got Sarah, who's the most beautiful model I've ever seen in my life. You've got Kat, who's got her own non-profit. Like, all of them have their own thing going on, which I love. Like, independent women on their own, but still able to be there for their man. Maybe I need to do better. Anyway, but yeah, back to Samantha. She's at home chilling, you know, no makeup. That woman is a 10 out of 10. Like, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous woman, and gorgeous on the inside. But obviously, cut to, they then start speaking about the struggles of being in a relationship in the public eye, struggling with the self-love and body confidence, and because everything is picked apart. And I feel like this must be like a boot camp to really build your self-love and resilience. We see Kat going to get some like treatments, and even she's very honest about the pressures you feel. And I just can't even imagine. I did get a bit emotional watching those scenes of them really being open, and they both have like young daughters and they want to be a great example for their daughters. And I think about the fact I'm going to become an auntie soon. And like, I'm just so worried for my niece, like the world she's coming into and these pressures on women. But I love that these conversations are being had on this show, because there's going to be young girls watching this, and hopefully it it does make a difference. So I love that that segment was in this show. But yeah, speaking of beauty, we meet another stunning queen in this episode. Ash Turner, who's married to Matt Turner, and he's a goalkeeper for Nottingham Forest. And as I was saying, she's at the time about 8 months pregnant. And they are such a sweet couple. They do give high school sweetheart vibes, but they only met in 2020 in Boston. And by 2022, they were making the move to London. Matt was playing as a goalkeeper for Arsenal. She was pregnant as well. Like, that is a lot to go through with someone in a small period of time. It would bond you. Like, you're both in a foreign country together, newly pregnant. It's gonna bond you. And I think maybe that's why the energy they gave me was high school sweethearts, because that short period that is only 2 years going through all those experiences probably made it feel like 15 years or something like that. It's a lot of life experiences. So yeah, in the third episode, we see Taylor packing up and getting ready for Saudi Arabia. Riyad has a 3-year contract. This is 3 years they're gonna be there. 3 years. Like, this lifestyle is wild to me. Like, you could have just bought a nice new coffee machine for your place, and then your man comes home and tells you, we're moving to Saudi Arabia for 10 years. Like, your life changes like that crazy. But yes, we see her arriving in Jeddah, and they're gonna be looking for houses. Another thing I love about this show that they're doing right. I want to see luxurious properties. Show me this amazing house I will never afford in my life. Let me live through you. And we get to see a lot more of that later on in the series, guys. Definitely watch it. But it's just got all the elements I love. Love, luxury, money, friendship, relationships. And I'm learning as well, like I said, maybe I should sacrifice a bit more. But, you know, that's a story for another day. But yeah, cut to my favourite, Samantha and James. James has been made captain. And this was so cute to see. You can see how elated and happy Samantha is for him. It's like his win is my win. He's a captain, I'm a captain. If my man is a doctor, I'm gonna be a doctor. If my man gets a Grammy, I've got a Grammy. Like, you just see how excited she is for him. And it's so nice seeing that love. And I guess obviously as well, they're newly married, so that love is just so fresh and new. Her dad comes down, he's going to the game with her. And I just want to take this moment to apologize to my dad, because I saw her dad look so happy to be there. He looks so happy to be there. And I'm just like, do you know how gassed my dad would be if I ended up with an Arsenal player and I got to take him to games and chill in the box? That man would be on a high. His work colleagues would never hear the end of it. That smile would never leave his face. And I just want to say, Dad, I'm sorry I failed you. But no, it was really cool. It was very cute to see them together. She loves watching him play. And that's another thing. I got it completely. She was talking about this. So you feel a certain way, like, yeah, that's my man. That's mine. I'm going to stick beside him. Like, she was loving watching him play. You could see it on her face. And I remember I had an ex who was a basketball player, and I remember getting to watch him play his games, and I want to say he was the star player of his team, just gonna put it out there. And there was nothing more attractive. There is nothing more attractive than watching a man do what he's good at. Do you want to know what's better? He's got all these fans there watching him, loving him, and you can see it, and you're like, yeah, but he's leaving with me. Yes, I get it. Samantha, I see you. They ended up losing the game. But that was another thought that came to my mind. Like, you're having to console your partner after, and it's either they win or they lose. So it's almost a 50-50. It could be good or it could be bad. So to have to console your man, like, you need to get really good at that. They have their own formula. She knows, let him play in his PlayStation for a bit and then he's gonna be okay. But it's just so much I just didn't think about until watching this show. It's so much insight as well as entertainment. Like, I love it. I love it. I need season 2. So yeah, so over to Ash and Matt. As I was saying, Ash is only a few weeks away from giving birth to their daughter, Everly, which is a beautiful name, by the way. And Matt has to go to the US to go back to the national team. And he's going to be gone for like 10, 12 days. And she's due to be induced in 10, 12 days, but anything can happen. So you're just like, oh my God, the stress. Obviously, when you're pregnant, you can't stress. So it was I'm stressing watching this. But it was real life. Like, these people really did offer up their true, authentic lives to us in this show. And I think that's what made it so great. Like, it was honest, it was open, it was raw, it was educational for me, for sure. And then another layer that you have to think about is, not only is Ash about to give birth in a couple of weeks, and husband Matt has to go back to the US for a couple of weeks, this is a foreign country to her as well. So you have your partner there to ground you and you're bonded together. And now he's gone. Like, there's just so many layers to it. And just seeing how these women just champion through, no pun intended, hats off to them. And even just from their goodbye, like when she's saying bye to him and he's off to the airport, and I was like, oh, it was so emotional to watch. And then I remind myself, this is something these women do regularly. Like, major hats off to these women. I salute them. It really was a true insight into what they go through. It was done, so it was like, they left everything on the table, basically. It was so honest. I loved it. If you've watched it all the way through and you haven't watched Married to the Game, apologies for the spoilers, but even still, go and watch the show. You won't regret it. And all the other episodes I haven't spoken about. Like, I love, the minute I knew this show existed, I binged it all the way through, and then I held my sister hostage on the phone so we could talk about it. And now I'm here talking to you guys about it because that's how much I love it. Like, guys, genuinely, I really, really enjoyed this show. Like, it lived up to everything I wanted it to be. And I don't doubt for a second you guys are gonna love this show. So I highly recommend, head over to Prime Video. Season 1, Married to the Game, is out now. Go and watch it. You will not regret it. I hope you guys enjoyed my recap of the first 3 episodes of Married to the Game. I really want to know your thoughts. Comment below, who are your favorite couples to watch? Did you have a favorite? Any thoughts? What did you take away from the show as well? So yeah, guys, I'm gonna stop talking your ear off now. That is all from me today, and I'm just gonna let you know one last time. Check out Married to the Game on Prime Video. Bye, guys.